Hey, y'all, it is TexAgs Rewind, David Nuno, and the Baccaroni with cheese.
What up?
Gabe Bach here. And let's just for a moment take a look at that picture.
I wish I had abs like that.
Yeah. I wish you would wear a shirt like that, Gabe.
I would, but I don't have abs like that.
Yeah, that's and none of us do. They're but we had Annie Kunz on the show. We talked about her Olympic.
Awesome.
She is great. Talked about her Olympic journey and just the greatness. We also talked to OB about the top games this weekend. My eyes are on the Ole Miss Auburn game.
Oh, you better believe that. I'm excited about the Michigan State game. Harbaugh struggled with Michigan State in his career. Plus, what's really going on up there, because they do have a very good three-headed monster, quarterback, running back, and receiver. Mel Tucker's done a good job, but now it's go time, right?
Yeah.
As you get closer toward Halloween and then November, he still might have 2 or 3 losses sitting there on that schedule.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
I don't know if
Big
I know
litmus test.
I don't know anything about Michigan or Michigan State because their schedule hasn't proven it yet. We'll find out what happens moving forward.
For sure.
Chris Landry, one of our favorite guys.
He's so good, man.
What a scout. Breaking down the offensive line's improvement out there. As I mentioned, Annie Kunz, Bronny on this A&M momentum, and this guy right here say it's TexAgs Rewind.
You better smash the like button.
No, that's later.
Okay.
No, just say it's TexAgs Rewind.
And by the way, get as many guys that have a feel of John Harris as possible, and Chris Landry's one of those guys.
Yes, he is.
Guys that true football dudes that know the game inside and out. That's fun communication, man. It's TexAgs Rewind.
See, I like that. All right, the third game, which is probably my most intriguing game of the week.
Yeah, it's the one I personally want to watch the most. It's number 10, Ole Miss, at number 18, Auburn. Hey, the winner's still in the SEC West Championship race.
Yep.
Loser's not.
And both of those opponents, obviously,
A&M's next two opponents.
Could either whoever wins that game, it's setting up a showdown with A&M. Well, if Auburn loses, I still think it's going to be a big game against A&M. If Ole Miss wins and A&M is able to win next week at Auburn, that's going to set up maybe 2 top 12 teams.
Who do you want to win?
I think Auburn.
Okay.
I think. Although there's a part of me that wants Ole Miss to win because I'd like to beat Ole Miss with a great record to have 2 top 10 teams that A&M has been able to bring down. So there's that part of it. But I think by losing to Auburn, I'm more optimistic of going there and winning because it shows that they're not as good. Because I do think A&M is better than Auburn, and they're going to win that game.
Okay, that's interesting.
But I don't know. I don't know what I want. I'm worried about Matt Corral.
You sound like my wife when I ask her where we're going to dinner.
We're going to go here. We're going to go there. We're going to go everywhere.
I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. I want Ole Miss. I want Auburn.
But I think I would like to see A&M beat 2 top 10 teams this year and then see their resume if maybe other teams are 10-2 as well.
Yeah, just win. And then number 1, Georgia.
You didn't tell me your answer.
I think I want to see. I mean, I really don't care.
You sound like me now.
I think if I had to pick, I might want to see Ole Miss win.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe because I've got this issue with Bo Nix.
Okay.
He's always been overhyped.
Always compared to
He's probably
Johnny.
a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he's always been overhyped, like Auburn quarterbacks always are.
Yep.
Ever since Cam Newton, every quarterback's been overhyped. And I never see. They're almost like Texas lately.
Right.
I never see the production to match the hype. So I'm feeling that way about Auburn. I don't know.
It's to me. It's I see this all the time. Young offensive line, 4 new guys. I mean, the surprise would be if they were really good to start. I mean, it doesn't work that way. You would expect them to get better, and there's circumstances in which it doesn't get better. You lose continuity, you have further injuries. I mean, all those things factor in. But, this team's very well coached. They're coached well there. I expected them to get better. It's not so much, looking at it from, well, they lost this game and they won this game. It's just how they progress gradually. And when you look at guys, you start to see more of a comfort level. And as I mentioned, going into, say, Alabama week and after Alabama week when we talked, is they've also helped the offensive line out a little bit. When they really recognized that they were going to have problems, they ran a lot of condensed formations, a lot of 2 tight end sets. to help the run game, because this is a team that's going to be built, young quarterback and an offensive line. Well, that's a recipe for not going to be very good in the early part of the season. May not be all that good at any point during the course of the year yet. They've gotten better and better. And why? I think they've done a good job of working and teaching young guys on that offensive line, or getting new guys in and creating that chemistry. And two, formationally, they've done a very good job of, look, we got to get the running game going. The strength of this offense is its two backs. It's running game as a whole. So let's run the football. That makes it easier for the quarterback. You slow down pass rush pressure. You don't have to pass block as long, because defensive fronts have to play the run first if you're a good running team. So they've become a very good running team, which in the early part of the season, couldn't quite find the running game, couldn't get it going. Remember, we're talking in the Colorado game, and they weren't there yet. And hey, welcome to football and coaching. And you don't have the same team from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 to week 8. It's different. Sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's worse for different reasons. This team has played better, gotten better. I do think we need to be aware that they have, after Alabama, they've played 2 weak teams that even if they didn't play well, it was only going to factor into the margin of victory. So as I'm sure we'll talk about it in the bye week, it's, let's get ready, because you're going to have at least in Auburn and Ole Miss, 2 teams that are going to bring about some different looks, different challenges that you're going to have to play very well and play very clean, because those are games of teams that can beat you if you don't play your best. You're capable of beating them, but they're capable of beating you.
Gosh, I don't think I would have made the team if it weren't for the pandemic. I learned so much about myself. It was the first time in my life I was out there alone with no coach. At A&M, we were super blessed with amazing coaches. Then everything is taken care of for you. You get to this professional level where track and field really isn't supported, and you're alone. But I have an amazing coach out here. And so the pandemic was the first time I'm out here pushing myself for the first time. And I just learned how bad I deeply, deeply wanted this dream of mine. And so I kind of almost had anxiety of like, I don't want to lose what I've gained, and I'm going to be out here working, and I'm going to try to get better in my throws and my running. And I really attribute making the team to COVID and having that extra time, not only to get better, but to get better mentally. I started working with a sports psychologist, and with the heptathlon, it's just crucial. And I've become a completely different athlete because of it.
Can you kind of get into that too? Because I think the mental aspect of sports and your mental health and your confidence, how that could really fluctuate in the middle, just a one quick moment, how you started there at the Olympics could have really had, bad effects the rest of the way, yet you were able to overcome that mentally.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to have amnesia. You kind of have to have like short-term memory loss because the heptathlon has 7 different events. If you go into it thinking you're going to have a perfect heptathlon, you're setting yourself up for failure. Like something is bound to go wrong or slip up, or you can just have a meet where you're just a little bit below average. And in years past, if what happened at the Olympics happened to me, I would have crumbled. I never would have been able to bounce back. I probably would have had a terrible high jump session, and it would have filtered into the rest of the meet. I committed wholeheartedly to enjoying and soaking up the experience no matter what happens, and smiling through it no matter what happens. So you kind of see, like, when I cross the finish line, I'm kind of like, dang, like that sucked, but I didn't fall. I still have a time. So kind of glass half full, like, all right, accept what happened, and then let's see what we can do from here. And that mentality, it's really hard. It's really, really hard when you're in that moment. But I work every single week with a sports psych to be prepared for those moments. And I'm just so unbelievably grateful for that, because it's made me stronger mentally in track and field, but also in my life
right now.
Yeah, the momentum that's the key word, because it's been a while since A&M's gotten an actual commitment, but it's not like all their targets are falling off the board and going elsewhere. We did record an in-home visit yesterday. I think it's going to go out tomorrow. So, and there's a lot of good information in that. There'll be a lot of really interesting perspectives from Jason and Billy that I think people will want to hear. One of those is, if you think about the potential of this D-line haul and the guys they're still in it for, we could be sitting here on signing day, David, and talking about they lost out on 5-star Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy when they were in the top 2. They lost out on Bear Alexander, a 5-star, when they were in the top 2, and it may not matter.
It may not matter.
Think about that. Lost out on 2 national 5-stars, came runner-up for both, and it may not matter. It's pretty wild. Now, they got to close,
Yep.
and they got to land the guys that they've got all this momentum with. But if they do that, what a storyline to tell. It's like go back 6 years, missing on your top targets and where you were going at that time to go get guys to replace or fill those spots. And go ahead to what Jimbo's done and what Elijah Robinson and Terry Price has done, and you're going miss on Bear Alexander, kid from the state of Texas, 5-star. At one point, that would be a huge blow to your class. You had an in with Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy, a 5-star out of Florida, went head-to-head with Oklahoma, and you lost out. At one point, that would have been awful for your class. Now, it's whatever.
And 1. All right, guys.
Smash it.
The teleprompter's going. You can go ahead and read what it says, what to do.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Smash that like button, will you? Come on, make
Share
it.
it.
Share it.
Like it.
Like it. Review it. Rate it.
Comment.
Absolutely.
Sign up for the
Give
alerts.
Give it 5 stars.
Watch it in reverse. You know, if you
Can you watch rewind and reverse? If you watch rewind and reverse, do you actually play it forward?
So actually, if you if you're using Google Chrome, if you hit the file, go to the 4th option down there, it says reverse. That's how you can watch this video in reverse.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Real story?
No, totally lie.
Oh, okay.
Total lie. But I like that he fell for it. TexAgs Rewind.